Let's give a rundown of the last 2 months, what's been going on, little kind of things. We got turtles hatching down by the pond. That was kind of cool. Some surveying stuff that went on. Apparently it's for the fiber optic cables though. So don't worry, people that were wondering, they're not getting rid of the cemetery, doing anything kind of weird. We have, the famous hollow tree that's by the creek that had like a little statue in it and stuff like that, that has officially fallen. And I'm going to pause quite a bit through this thing with these planes. What else was there? Found some small little artifacts. One's kind of fun. I only saw it in a museum once, Tinley Park actually. So the old soda bottles, they didn't have like the normal cork. Obviously they didn't have crown caps, all that kind of stuff back in the day. But there was like this wire thing that goes down in there. I'll just pop up some pictures based on what I found, how it was cleaned up, and then I'll throw something in and how it's supposed to look. Yeah, pausing makes it easier. I have like a backlog of things that was going on. A recent one was something I wanted to take care of for years, back when I was starting stuff, like 2000, 1999 kind of thing. Talking to Brad Badenhausen. He wrote stuff for something called Where the Trails Cross. And I never could see this one edition. It was only available at the time, I guess, microfilm. It was easier to get. So I finally got around to doing that. There's a famous kind of library up north from here, and they got like everything there. It's great. So I just grabbed that out and went through the whole thing, made the copies, and voila, it's done. Nothing too fancy, just kind of old style, old school microfilm. It's getting windy. Speaking of them having everything, I've been trying to track down the Everton family, those who had founded the cemetery, Bachelor Grove Cemetery, and getting a little closer here and there, finding out where they came from, how they got to America, maybe where they left, that kind of thing. Some other documents that came across were like it's earlier than 1920. It was like a farmer's directory. So one of the other projects that's going on is tracking down the telegraph and telephone system that was back in the day. Things like the Schmidt farm that's right next to the cemetery, people that own the property around it. What their phone connection was like, the name of the farm I think I found. Things like that, so it's been pretty cool. I'm trying to plot different sections of land based on who had homes, who had infrastructure for farms and communications. I don't know. We'll see where it goes. Could take a year. Could take longer. I just kind of want to verify information. So that's kind of going on. This one's kind of a big deal, at least for me. All these YouTube videos. So now it's reaching about 300 individual videos that I'm doing here, just me speaking and that kind of thing. We're not talking about like television programs, everything else that's archived. So I'm creating this index file that starts from video 1 all the way down to this, like this one that's going on now, and it'll give a general breakdown, give you access to the YouTube part and archived portion of the video. So yeah, that summary is going to be really handy if you're trying to find out something goofy. It's like, why would I want to watch all these stupid videos? Like, just give me this index file. I heard about something, let's scroll through it. And then, hey, there's where they were talking about this, let's choose that one. And then it'll actually provide you links to additional information. Like on this one, if I mention certain things like the microfilm, you can come back to that index file and then find a link back to that material, like a Google Doc or whatever else is available. You can't just always put something in the description of YouTube. It just doesn't always work out, and people somehow don't even click and look on that stuff anyway. But so yeah, there's going to be a main index file available. Well, actually, technically it's still there. I'll make a dedicated page for the YouTube account on bachelorgrove.com, so you can kind of find that stuff all kind of easier. But in the meantime, you can go to the personal story section on bachelorgrove.com. Scroll down, you'll find my name. It'll say Bachelor Grove YouTube series. So if you want to get a head start, it's there. And I warn you, there's some really weird stuff, especially on video 1 with the reference links. So you're going to find out a lot about my past, not all of it, but a lot of why I started doing some of this paranormal aspect stuff. And it's all true, and it's definitely missing information. I always seem to hold back, right? Speaking of weird stuff, I'm going to throw this little tidbit in, but I'm going to follow up later. The so-called observer, the guy I've been telling information to behind the scenes, is part of a, well, multifaceted thing, but when it came to the fiber optic stuff that happened recently, so me and the observer were sitting at the front entrance, and I said, you know, around the 6 o'clock, 6 p.m. zone, where weird stuff starts to occur, kind of thing. So I'm just staring across the street, and suddenly there's this like big light across the road. Turned out to be at the fiber optic box, but it was like this huge light, and of course he didn't see that particular one. But it was funny how the next day all this fiber optic activity occurred. There's like, I'm just throwing out little breadcrumbs about it, but like these little things are occurring. Like there's still like activity going on, and I think it'll be fascinating once I kind of like pass that information along. But a more recent one was about that whole light on my shoulder kind of thing. I did talk to the observer. I record, you know, audio with him, conversations now, and maybe I'll come back later, maybe I won't. I think with that one I probably should, because it explains part of the very humorous, interesting behavior of the intelligence out here and how it interacts with people. So you know, if you're going to be the type of person that wants to go forward and try to interact with the intelligence, you know, these are little tips on how to do it, if you can kind of read between the lines when you eventually see that information. You know, I'll save the rest for later. I know I'm missing a bunch of stuff, little tiny things I put on, like pictures on Facebook. So a lot of times I'll just have little things, you know, I'll take a picture of this, take a picture of that, maybe a little artifact, whatever, and I'll put it on Facebook. But eventually I like to just put it here and talk about it. Anyway, I think the observer is showing up today, so maybe we'll do something with him, and then I'll release something tomorrow as well. Until then, take care. Get a feel for the light.
It'll come through either red or green.
Yeah,
You're
green.
only seeing the red at the moment, but it's flashing back. It's either a red light or a green light at all times.